Hey everyone, if you're watching this video, you're in my ITP220 class, and I'm going to go over the database project now. So I'm not going to go over the setup. Watch the orientation video for that. This is just going to be a CodeAlong for the solutions. But we do need to start my database. Great. And then our code is going to be written in these two classes. So let's start with standings. And we'll just go through these methods and knock them out. So to get total games played, we can just add wins and losses. Return the team with the most wins. So I guess we can do a loop for this one. I'm sure we could probably also do a stream, but since we haven't gotten to that yet in the semester, I won't go there yet. Okay, so let's create a team called winner. Just set it to null for now. We'll do an enhance for loop. And I'm thinking we should actually set this to, so we can do some comparisons. Let's actually set it to the first team by getting it. Yep, that's just what we want. So we can start with the first team and then compare and update the winner referenced in this loop. So if team get wins is greater than winner get wins, then we will update the winner to the current team. And then we should just be able to return that team. Let's do something similar for, no, we need to do winner there. Let's do something similar for the next method, but we're going to have to update everything. Least losses. I'm just going to call it, least losses. Otherwise, that's going to get confusing. And actually, let me show you how to do this. So we have the variable named winner 4 places. If you stick your cursor inside the word, you can right click and then go to refactor, rename. And whatever you type here now, we'll update it in all 4 places. So definitely a good Eclipse trick to learn. We need to convert the logic here. Get losses if least losses less than get losses. That looks correct. Alright, so we just need to use this formula for any given team parameter. So we could probably do this as a one-liner. In fact, I think I'm going to. It's pretty straightforward. So we'll do team get wins, and we'll use a parentheses. Same thing. Actually, what we should do here, the principle is to avoid redundancies wherever possible. So what we actually want to do here is call our other method, total games played, because that already adds them together. What am I missing? We can't call it on team. Can we do, so, oh, it needs a team. That's right. Yep. Needs the team parameter. And then, so that's calculate the winning percentage, just dividing wins by total games played. And then this method might be a little more trickier. We need to print the teams in order from most wins to least wins. And I suggest you use an inner class called wins comparator. So we're trying to learn a little bit about inner classes. And what we want to do is feed, the comparator is already implemented. It sorts teams in descending order by comparing two different teams. And you can look up how comparator works, but basically it returns -1, 0, or 1, depending on if the first variable, the first parameter, is less than, equal, or greater to the second parameter. But yeah, I wish it was easier to explain, but it does. It's just something you have to remember, and honestly, trial and error in many cases. But we can feed, once we have a comparator, we can feed it to collections utility method. So let's get rid of all this. And we're going to use a method called collections.sort, which takes the list and the comparator. And since we're passing by reference, this is going to sort in place. We don't need to return a new, we don't need to create a new list. Let me make sure. Yeah, so since it returns void here, we know it's sorting in place. And I think we're going to need to instantiate our comparator. So we probably want to do new over, yeah, let's try this. We'll do an anonymous comparator, see if that works. I think that's how you have to do it. So this isn't an anonymous class. We're just creating it here on the spot. We don't need to change anything. Might be able to get rid of those brackets. Yeah. Let's see if that works. So let's run the menu now after we save this file. Not coverage, run. And blow this up. Oh, I forgot to. So what, if this is good to show, because I forgot to do the most important thing, add our JDBC driver that's built for MySQL to the class path. So I need to add that jar to our build path. Let's see if I can do that from here. trying to figure out if I can right click it from here, but I guess not. Guess I have to do it this way. So you right click on your project, build path, configure build path. You could do that too. And then click on class path, add external jars. Apply and close. Okay, now our driver is part of the program's class path. So let's try that again. Awesome. We'll load the data, and let's find the team with the most wins. Eagles. That's correct. Find the team with the least losses. Chiefs. Yup. Calculate the team's winning percentage. Oh yeah, we have to add that in there. We still need to do something for that. Print teams out by most wins to least wins. So we do need to make some changes to the FootballDB menu here. I don't think it did that. Let's put in that code. I'm surprised that didn't work yet, but we'll deal with that second. So we need to, I'm going to keep this here. I will just create a new scanner. And we need to ask the user the teams. Let's actually say nickname. We'll save that. Team. Did I already use this variable? I did. So we could use the same scanner, but I don't think we want to, since we're switching from ints to strings. We'd have to deal with the so-called scanner problem then. So let's just rename this. I'll call it scanner. And then we just need to call standings. Calc. We probably should do some data validation there. Calc winning percentage. Takes a team. It just returns it. So we're going to want to print that out. Oh yeah, we need to get the, oh yeah, I forgot about that. We need to create a team, because this method is expecting a team, not just a string. Or what we could do is, yeah, we already have the list, so we should be able to scratch that. Let's trying to remember if there's a method that will let us do this. So we have a teams variable. Oh yeah, I'm thinking of maps, not just a list. So we do need to do this in 2 steps. Let's do a little we could do a little for loop. We'll do equals in or case with the string, and then set. Oh, we can't name it the same thing. Let's do T. And then, so we have a team. We can do the team, but it still needs to, we still want to print that out. So what is that? A double win percent. Now we'll print it out. Let's actually do a format string here. So we'll do team S percentage, and then we need an F for the decimal. So we'll get the team's name, and then we already have it in the win percent. And then, why was this not working? So let's save everything. If teams equals null. So it seems like we need to print everybody out here. We shouldn't have deleted that loop earlier, but it's okay. We'll create another little loop. Alright, so hopefully that fixed everything. Let's run this again. First we need to connect, load the data, and now we already did number 3 and 4, but I'll just do it again real quick. 5. Equals. Because team is null. We have a null exception. Yeah, I was being a little too sloppy there, but I misnamed that variable. It needs to be the loop variable, not this placeholder. Sorry about that. So yeah, here's the, if you need to look at that, this is my final code for case 5. Okay, connect to database, load data, calculate. That didn't work. First, we need to change the format string so that there's some new lines. Okay. Turn get wins. Oh yeah. Get wins divided by. So I wonder if the issue is. I wonder if we should cast this to a double first. Yeah, seems like that was the issue. So it was doing some sort of integer division rather than we need to convert this to a double first and then divide it by total games played. Let's see if that works for some other teams. Oops. Okay. So that looks correct. Let's check the last one. Yep, and that is what we're looking for. So it's a printout from most wins to least wins. And we can exit that program. So the last part of this was writing two queries. Let me clear some space. Close these. Okay, let's go to the query runner. So we need to write the two queries here in query runner, and that's the last thing. We'll get the connection from DB connection and its static method. Remember to always pick the imports from java.sql and not the driver. And actually we want to do a try with resources here. So we're going to put that connection in a try with resources block. And we should catch SQL exceptions. Okay, so we need to write the query. It can be very similar to this. And I'm going to use the dynamic parameter binding. So let's call this one kQuery. Football teams where team name like, and this is the parameter that we're going to dynamically bind with the letter K. This is good practice, so we could reuse this method for other queries. So it really should be like should really just call this like search query. Make it a little more general. And I should have set this up so that each of these was a different method, and instead of hard coding the K, that would be a character parameter or a string parameter to a method, but I ran out of time. So let's do prepared statement. And we need to import that. And then we're going to do set string on it to enter the K. The one refers to the first parameter there, and then this should actually be a string that we're feeding it. We're feeding it the letter K, a lowercase k. Then we need to get the result set. By executing the statement. We want to do execute query. We already have the prepared statement all set up. Oops. And then we need to go through our result set. So while result set is next, we will print out the results. And we just need the second column really for the team name, but I'll get both. I'll get the first and second column. So the first column is team ID sorry. Let's do the column indexes, which start at 1. And then we'll do a string team name. And let's do the second. We'll do 2 for the second column. Oh, what happened there? That's weird. Not sure why it's not formatting. Why the linter's not kicking in there, but all we need to do is print out each result. And I like to get you all into the habit of using format strings. So we'll pass in these parameters. The first one is a digit for the ID. And we just need the name. Put in a new line. Then we put in the parameters here. Team ID, team name. Supposedly in Java 21 there's going to be an easier way to do string interpolation, which I'm pretty excited about if that happens. Okay, let's catch errors. Let's see if this works. I guess string just isn't bold. I don't know why. I feel like that looks odd. It didn't print out anything. So I think I would do the debugger here to see what happened. Yeah, so none of this is catching, but we did get the database connection. So let's stick a debug breakpoint right here and open the debug perspective. And then we'll jump to that breakpoint. And is it F5 or F6? So we want to step over. You know what? Oh yeah, I know what I did. Oh boy, I don't need this. We can go back. I just forgot the SQL wildcards. Let's try that again. Where is run? Well, that's weird. Yeah, so terminate. The debugger was still active. And there we go. So that is the correct answer. Packers, Vikings, Seahawks. And then we need to find football teams with 9 wins and 8 losses. Fortunately, we can copy most of this code. I will create the query first. Let's call this, if we're doing reusable, we could call it standings query. And I want to use dynamic binding again. So we're going to do where wins equal question mark and losses equal a second question mark. And I think we want a new prepared statement. So yeah, let's just copy and paste this. It'll be easier. And then instead of doing set string, we want to set int to 9 first. So the first parameter, we want to set it to 9, and then set the second one to 8. Again, this is just best practice if we were creating a reusable method in which the number of wins and losses was a parameter. You wouldn't want to use string concatenation because that sets you up for the SQL injection attacks. So this is the way to avoid that vulnerability. think we can keep all these names the same since we're in a local block. And we don't want, well, yeah, we can keep that the same too. All right, let's just see what happens. Of course. So we have two parameters, or two question marks. And that's what that was protesting. Beautiful. And that looks correct. All right. So that's been the database walkthrough. Hope you had a good time learning about JDBC. And yeah, thanks everyone.